Hear me? Hello. Dig into the this lab work. So I'm Mr. K. Gangadhara Rao, working in CBIT from last 50 years. Okay, so I have seen your syllabus and gone through all the topics. So syllabus is fantastic. So it covers everything. In line with the today's trends. So we'll check or we'll go through each and every point, every experiment, and we'll execute so one by one. Okay, so that is today's agenda, and I hope that everyone has, of you have gone through the theory point of it. Otherwise, I will touch upon that point also. And first, before getting into this, first I'll check the syllabus. Okay, and then I'll let you know. So, what is our plan for today? Okay, so I'll share my screen in a moment. Wait. Yeah, I'll share my screen now. So, yeah, can you see my screen, guys? Can you all see my screen now? Guys, tell me. Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so any blur is coming over there? Anything blur, or are you able to see the experiments that I'm showing here? Can you see all them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So, or I will share the window. Window sharing is better, or the entire screen sharing is better? Window sharing might be a better one, right?
Yes, sir. Window sharing is my.
Correct. Thank you. So now can you see this on my screen now? A little bit clear? Yes, ma. So I'm struggling with audio right issues here. That's why I'm keep on asking you. Okay. Okay. Now is it okay? Can you see that? So look at here. So the first the experiment is, so build a responsive web application for shopping cart with registration, login, product catalog, and cart pages using CSS3 features such as Flexbox and Grid. So this experiment is basically know to let you know what is the Flexbox and what is Grid, how you can make use of Flexbox and Grid to design these kind of responsive pages and layout management issues. Okay, so basically the Flexbox and Grid are two things which talks about layout management in CSS. Okay, so earlier people used to write iframes, so on and so forth, and to get these things done, like dividing the total page into three, four parts, one part for the menu and one part from the left navigation, the other part for the navigation and so on and so forth. People used to do that. So later on, what has happened is they designed something called Gridbox, so that you can have full control over the layout management of a website. And later on, again, so that was updated and also revamped with something called Flexbox. The concept behind this is only the layout management. Okay. So and the second experiment is we'll go through this and execute them. Second experiment is responsive web application using Bootstrap framework to enhance the UI components and layout. Actually, this is with respect to the experiment one. It means how Bootstrap helps you to design the responsive web applications. Responsive web application means the website or web application designed to fit with any device. Like if I open your website in my mobile, that should be correctly layouted. And if I look at that, if I view that in the tablet, so it should fit to the requirements of the tablet. So whatever the device size or device port sizes that I'm using should be correctly fitted. Like something is hidden and something is visible, such kind of things will not be there if I'm using responsive layout. So responsiveness is imbibed into the Bootstrap framework. So Bootstrap is a familiar framework for the public, so who are using the designing the website so far. But so today there are more modern kind of CSS frameworks today in the market, like Tailwind, Material UI. So a lot of other Bootstrap, like other the UIs has come with CSS. Okay, so how you can do this by using Bootstrap? I'll show you this experiment also. And then third is implementing client-side validation for the pages developed in experiment one and two. It means we have developed two experiments here now. These experiments, okay, for these experiments, I want to give the validation or add the validation what you have done in experiment one and experiment two. Okay. Okay. So can you once again tell me whether I am audible or not audible, guys? Audible or not audible? Babu sir, am I audible now? Babu sir, am I audible or not audible? Oh, okay, Gokul. Okay, Gokul. Now let's get into this. Quickly, I'll open. Okay, the VS Code. So I'll first show the three experiments now, and then we move on because all the three experiments are of same kind, right? So that is why we'll go there. So again, I'll okay. Again, I want to present the other window, that is VS Code. Okay. So can you see my VS Code now, guys? Yes. Now you can see my VS Code. Um, Look at my VS Code. Right. So I have already executed that these experiments. I'll just open those folders and then see. So on my desktop, so 1 second. Yeah, I am opening this with the live server. Mhm. Yeah, can you see the screen? So first we'll see how we can register the card. So you can see some couple of things. This was actually designed by the bootstrap is used here. If I do not use the bootstrap, you will see a different screen. Like you will not see this will not be useful. I mean, this cannot be used in different devices. Okay. First you have a register button and a login button, shopping button, and then card button. So when I click up after registration, I will go and register this. So this is registration. Okay. So once you can you see that the registration is successful? Yes. You can see that the registration is successful. Yeah, you can see that the registration is successful. After this, I want to log in with the credentials. Login. Okay. So once the login is successful, I want to shop the items. So shop the items means I'm adding. So one pen is added to the cart, and one book is added, and one bag is also added. Three bags are added now. Again, one more book, one more pen I'm adding, one more book I am adding. Now can you see the cart? Yeah, two pens, two books, and one bag is added, and total is 420. So this is how you can design a card by using okay Bootstrap and CSS. So inside what is there, you can say I'll show you the code and explain you what has happened inside. Yeah, now you see. So how this was actually implemented inside this grid and boost. Now you can see. So what are the things that you are seeing there is you have seen a registration page, a registration, and a login, and you have a card page and a products page. Okay. So for this, so you can see the code. Is it visible to you? I'll enlarge the screen. Okay. So here, look at this code. The first thing is when you want to introduce or when you want to use the bootstrap, what you have to do is first you have to add the respective CDN here. So where you can add this is inside your CSS part, like inside. So your CSS part you can use this like this link href is equal cdn.jsdeliver.net npm bootstrap at the rate of 5.3.2 something is there na bootstrap CSS you will find at the end. So this is called this is a way of including your style sheet in the your HTML page. So what is the CDN? CDN means what are all the styles that you have seen there is available in the rate of 5.3.2. At this point, at this particular okay location, these bootstrap files are available. I am not actually writing these files in my application. So if you see here, I have not included any CSS file. So where are these styles coming up? So these styles are available from directly from this CDN. So directly the things that are available inside this content delivery network, I am using that CSS. Okay. And always, if you want to override these styles which you do not want, you can always override those styles in your style code, or you can also write your .css file and include as externally also. There is no issue. And okay, lay out my elements. Here I have a navigation bar now. So navigation bar, how I can have a navigation bar, you can see here. Okay, so in navigation bar, what you have? So some nav items are there now. What are those nav items? Login, register. Okay, so you can see a registration. Okay, and then login, shop, and cart. These things are there now. So how this was actually aligned? I have a nav bar. For that, so we have a nav bar. You can see how I am using navbar. Navbar, I mean, I am not writing any CSS code for getting this done. What I am doing, I have a predefined class which is in Bootstrap that I am using here. So where is that predefined class? You can see a container, and then another class is called navbar expand LG, navbar dark, BG primary. So these are the set of classes that we have to use to get this navbar, the basic color. What does this mean? This navbar is a class, and the navbar expand -LG is class. I mean means my navbar is to be expand. Okay, so LG means large. So I want a total expanded navbar, and I want a dark colored. So and my color is blue color. Blue color is also called as BG underscore primary in the bootstrap, right? So whatever the color, I mean classes that are bootstrap classes that was given must be used inside class attribute. Class, all these are predefined classes of the bootstrap. And if you see, yeah, so now you can see the navbar brand. Navbar brand means this is another class. For example, you might have a logo for your application now. So for that, you can use this navbar brand. Okay, so and then I want it to F bold. Okay, so you can see different icons now. There are different classes for different requirement. For example, whatever the bootstrap I have shown here is not fit for your requirement, you can always go for the other kind of nav bars that you see there, like different nav styles are there. So the only thing is you have to use the navigation bars that fits your requirement, knowing the class names only. Sir, I have nothing to do here. I mean, I'm not writing any code for getting a nav bar. What I'm doing, I'm just using the class which are provided by the bootstrap only. Okay, so now you can see there are different four things are there now. Yeah, so login, register, shop, and all this. For this I'm using it. I'm saying that the nav items. So first thing is you should have a container. Inside your container, what is to be done? Some set of classes to be used. So nav item, so nav item, all these things I am using. And see at the end what you have. So I want a registration page. For getting the registration page, you need what is required. You need some buttons now. So what is required? So you have a some username and password. So these are the two form controls, means HTML text boxes. HTML text box will not give you any default color as you are seeing. Plain HTML will not give you any default look and feel. So what is to be done? Look and feel is to be added by using the this particular bootstrap only. So now you can see different MB. Okay, so 3 means what? I want a registration page, registration bar. So for this you can see two text box, I mean text username and password fields are there na. Yes, you can see. Now for each of them, what I'm using, input class is equal form control, form control hyphen sm means what? I want a small kind of username box. Okay, so you can see long boxes will also be there, medium boxes will be there, small boxes will be there. So form hyphen control hyphen sm means what? I want a small form control. Okay, so means what? MB size 2. So these whatever the classes. So I mean all that you need to know about the bootstrap is for any requirement you go to the bootstrap, you will see different classes and different right, different controls. For example, I want to use the buttons. You have 10 kinds of buttons there. Each button is for some purpose. For example, I want red button. So is there any red button? I mean that is already available. You have to look for. Yes, you have there. You only have to take the respective class and then you have to use it in your application. For example, blue you want, so you have to say the class names. Okay, the class name, sir. And other logic, I'll show you how actually this, I mean, price items are added. I'll tell you the logic. See, first I'll take you to there again, and okay. Now what you can see? Can you see this card page? Yeah, can you see this card page? What is that you are seeing, ma, here? Yeah. So can you see this? So this is called now brand. So for this to align here, I'm not using any kind of the hard coded CSS logic here. So what was done there? I'm just using a class in the Bootstrap that is called brand class. Now brand class. Okay, so the items are aligned now. The items are automatically aligned here. So this is because I'm using a navbar class. Okay, so sometimes if you want these items to be aligned from next to mini quad, that will also be done. Otherwise, you can also align them from here. There are default styles and different kind of options are there. If you look at, you'll easily see and see how the items are added to this. Now here, what was here, you can see something like products, and then you can see pen and then add button, book, something like 50, and this is what I call as flex, right? How these items are to be displayed. First it is to be displayed one two three items are displayed. Again more items are to be displayed, it will come to the next line. This is called, we call as a grid. Grid means what? So you have rows and columns now. For each row, how many items are to be fit will be decided by your grid rows and columns. Okay. So if, I mean, by default, how many will be there? You have a 12 column layout. From that, according to requirement, you can concise or no. Actually, you can also use all 10, 12 also. 12 also. Okay, so how many you can display in a grid is 12 items you can display, but I want less than that. I also display like 3. So these are logic behind rows and columns. Okay, so I will easily go through that. And once the items are added to this grid, then where are you seeing the items? See, means the simple JavaScript logic is used to add these items and display something. Like you can see, there is only one. Here, what was used is flex is used. Flex means a particular row, how many fractions it is to be divided into. Now I have not divided any fractions. This entire the row has been used for displaying this. Okay, so basically what you understand, takeaways of this experiment is how Bootstrap can be used, okay, to improve the look and feel. Okay, and the next is how these next these flex and grid can be used. Okay, so I will share this code, have a look on this and execute. You will understand more and more better. So this is the experiment one and two. Now you see, implement the client-side validations for the pages developed in experiment 1 and 2. So now what is my requirement is, so I want to actually display the same page, and this time I want to validate whatever. Okay, I want to validate all the fields that were used here. I'll show you the VS Code first once again. Yeah, look at so let me close this VS Code once again, or I'll open the open folder. What is my third one? Yeah. So now you can see here. First, let me execute. Okay, so this execute this experiment. Yeah, can you see the screen now? Yeah. Now you can have a look here. So whatever is used. Yeah, now username and password is given. Now I don't want to give any username and password. Then please enter username. It is saying. Okay, so this is what we call as validations in JavaScript. Validation means whatever the data that is entered into the text box is in the proper format or not. That is what is known as validations. Validations can be done by using JavaScript. Okay, and some people, there are two kinds of validations. One kind of validations you can do inside, at the local, I mean, at the client side. Other kind of validation you can do at the server side. But this, I mean, there are kind of other frameworks which can be used for validations. Now in this experiment, we are just going through plain JavaScript, which is used for validating your the HTML fields. Now, for example, I want to use some username, and minimum 4-character password is asked. Now I am giving only 3 characters. Okay, so now you can see password must be 4 characters. Okay, and then so this is what registration. So in my login page, so password is not given. Then wrong username or password it is saying. Okay, so now let us give some password. Login successful. Okay, so this is what is called validation. How these kind of validations can be done in JavaScript, I'll show you. Yeah, now can you see this? Yeah, can you see this? Now have a look on this validation part. Yeah, now you can see validate user, validate, I mean, here you can see validate register. Okay, you can see function validate register. And then you can see another function you can see validate login. Okay, so two functions are there now. These are the two JavaScript functions which are used for validation. So how you can perform the validation? So next here I am taking first whatever the data that is entered into the text boxes. There are two text boxes here. In case of registration, one is the username, the other is the password. Now what I have to done is we have to get the username and password. Now you can see from the form, this is actually the field name. R user and R password means what? Registration user and registration password. These two are the actual IDs that are associated with those fields. Now first you have to get the data out of that particular control. here you can see two text boxes are there now. First, I want to get the data out of first text box. How to get the data out of the text box into JavaScript? For that, you have to attach an ID to that. An ID means then JavaScript recognize that particular field. Now the this particular RES is attached to that. So now in my JavaScript, what I'm asking value, I'm asking. What does it mean? It is going to give you whatever the data that you have entered into that particular username field. And this particular R password value will give the password that you have entered into this particular this. And why this string is sometimes use extra spaces there. So to cut down those extra spaces, you can use this string. Now U contains the username is entered by you, and P contains the password entered by you. Now what I am doing now, if not you, means what? So if the username is not empty, if the username is empty or not empty, it is empty. Okay. If the username is empty, what I want to do? Please enter the username. Okay. So registration message dot inner text, whatever the message that is displayed to you, no after the button, that is what we call as inner text. This inner text will be displayed then return. So the return means return false. It should not go anywhere. Okay, means you cannot do any cart operations because this is login is not going to be successful. And then if the p dot length less than 4 means what? A reg message dot inner text. This inner text message will be displayed. Inner text means the message that you want to push, okay, as a HTML field onto the HTML page. Means what? Some message to be displayed. So there, wherever you want to display the message, there you have to write a label. This is actually the label where I want to write the message. At this particular label dot inner text. Then that label will be displayed. Initially, that label is going to be empty. Later, when this particular thing happened, but this particular thing means when you have entered password, then it is going to display this particular inner text. And this particular length is less than 4. Reg message dot inner text equal to password must be at least 4. This is going to be displayed, and thereafter nothing should happen. That's why I'm saying what? Return. Okay. So if the username and the password is provided, no, see where I'm actually storing them. In fact, I'm not actually storing them in the database for now. So later on in the coming experiments, we are going to store them in the databases. But for now, I'm just saying what local storage. Browser has a small inbuilt memory that is called local storage. Local storage dot set item of user, whatever the username that is entered, that is going to be stored inside the local storage in the form of what? User. Then I'm showing the registration successful. Okay. Next. So here you can see register message dot class list dot replace. Here I'm doing what? So in order to say like sometimes you will see the red message now. You can sometimes make when the username is wrong or the username is not entered. You have already seen that the message is red. But this time when the particular user is the validation passed. Validation passed means what? If data is put in the correct format, then what should I say? My inner should be registered successfully. Okay. So this registered displayed, right? Registered successfully should be displayed.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Now, when in the danger situation means what is text hyphen danger? This is CSS class to display something in the different color. Now, replace means what is actually I'm changing the class name. First, initially, I have used a text hyphen danger class for displaying my text. Inner HTML in the red color. Now I am changing that red color to text-success. That's the only thing. Otherwise, you can also hard code it. Okay, and validate login is also same. Again, now I have stored my registration details in the local storage. Now, local storage is a browser storage. You can store the data in the form of key comma value pairs. Now, earlier I have stored my username comma password there. Correct now? Now, now I am just retrieving that username and password. Okay, so now please the register first. For example, if there is nothing in the local storage, what does it mean? You have not registered. If you are not registered, you will not be allowed to no allowed to allowed for login. Okay, that is why I am testing here. Validate login is doing something first, taking the data from the local storage. So I am checking whether some data is there, some user is there in the local storage or not. If the user is already there, it's okay, no problem for me. And the user is not there, I have to say him that they please register first. Okay, now I am testing it. Like the username and password that you have entered is same as the username that is already been stored inside the local storage is same. Then what should I say? Login successful. Again, then what should I say? The color should also be changed from text-enter to text-success. Text-enter and text-success is two bootstraps. Okay, and then even when you have already done, but everything is validation. You have entered some username and password, but those username and password is not there in the local storage. Then what message do you see? Wrong username and password. Okay, these combinations I have shown you. Now what you have to do is you go there. I'll share all this stuff with you, and then you will understand that. Esma, any doubt you have with respect to this experiment, how the validations can be done? Yes? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Am I audible? Once again, you tell me. Madhu, can you tell me, am I audible? Madhu? Okay. Right. So now, so first, let's go to the next experiment. What is next experiment? Yeah. Now, what is the fourth experiment? Have a look on this. Yeah. So, what is the fourth experiment? Six features such as arrow functions, callbacks, promises, async and await for building web applications that uses fetch and whether it is on this first I'll explain this. ఇప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు అలా పెట్టిన వాళ్ళలో ఒకటి నేను మనం రావాలి మన స్టూడెంట్స్ వాళ్ళ తమ్ముడు కూడా ఉన్నాడు One second. Yeah, first let me execute this. Yeah. So, can you see my screen now? Yeah. So this experiment is all about how you can fetch data from the this open weather website and display here in the graph. So here the learnings are how you can use the ES6 means Emacs script 6. So the JavaScript has introduced a couple of new additions. Now the latest version is 23 JavaScript, but still there are very good features in ES6. So which are basically I mean, JavaScript is basically powered because of ES6 features. Like ES6 features are arrow functions, callback functions, and promises, async await. So these are really the heart of the modern JavaScript. How these functions are used to display the data in the to display the data from this website. Now actually we enter the city name. So for this city, I want to get the graph, means temperature. So these data I am actually getting from the open, this open, what is that? This weather information from the openweathermap.org. Openweathermap.org website contains weather information. So that weather information I am getting from that website. So here I enter the city name. So from that, so here Hyderabad is entered na chart updated successfully. Now we'll enter other city. We'll enter something like Delhi. Okay. Now can you see that? So now the chart is updated for Delhi. So this is all about what, how you can get the data from the third party APIs by using these arrow functions, callback and promises. Again I'll share my screen, back to this VS code. I'll again go to the code and then explain you what is it. Okay. So now, yeah, so now I think you can see my VS code. Now you can see the VS code. Yeah. Now see this, what I am doing here to get the data displayed here. You have seen I'm entering the data in the text box, enter city name and get the weather data. How I'm actually getting the weather data is, first thing is you have to Now see the US first. Here you have to get the weather data, right? So now, yeah. First thing is, for getting this, you have to go to the openweathermap.org website. Openweathermap.org website, and so you have to get the registration. Once you got registered with this website, you are supposed to get the keys. This is called API keys. Now below I have pasted some API keys. Can you see here? Yes, these are the API keys. When you supply this API key, then only they will tell you the weather information for any city that you are asking. No, otherwise they will not disclose you. Means you will not connect to the third party. So what is to be done if I want to connect to the third party websites and get something from that website? Now see, what are you seeing here? And this is called key. Yes, I am authorized to go to the website, go to that particular website and get the weather information. Now I am eligible. For example, in the same way, sometimes you will be. I want to know the government schools around my place. No, for that also you can go to the Google services and you have to get a API key. Once you got the API key, you have to write a piece of code to get the information from that website. Once you got that information from that particular website, you are supposed to display it in your website. So that is what the Swiggy and other Zomato are doing now. They'll use the keys of the Google, and of course they will pay something for those services. Okay. So now what I'm doing is, here I have an URL. So now you can see I'm writing an arrow function. So what is an arrow function? You can see const. Okay. So this is what is the parameter that is taking this city, and then an arrow, right? So why this is called an arrow function? It is only the syntactic sugar. Means instead of writing function keyword and then function name followed by arguments and a curly braces and so on and so forth, what we are doing is we are just shortening the syntax in the form of what? Arrow function. Arrow functions are the normal functions are same. It's only the okay. So this is actually my function name, and the city is the argument. And sometimes if you do not have any argument, directly you can put a arrow mark just with the function name. Okay. So if you don't need this function again and again, what can be done? This I don't need to write anything there. Even I don't need the function name at all, like in the Python, right? So I'm passing an argument, and then now what I'm writing, I'm taking that particular city. So I'm calling what? Fetch. Okay. So here I'm doing what? In this fetch weather. In this is my fetch weather is another function. What is this function? Arrow function. This arrow function is again taking a city as argument, and whatever the city information that I'm taking from this arrow function, now I'm passing it to the build URL. Okay, so build URL, what the build URL is doing? Actually, this build URL of city, the build URL is another the arrow function, which is taking city as argument, and then it is building the argument, building in the API call, which it has to communicate with this openweathermap.org. Right. So actually what you have to do, api.openweathermap.org/data 2.5/forecast, and you are seeing encode URL of city. And the API key is this. What is required? So API key you must have with you. And the other thing that you should have is for which city you want the weather information, that also you have to send. With these two information, city and API key, it is going to build an URL. Means you are calling this URL, you are sending this URL to the third party website for information to be extracted. So for getting the information to be extracted, what I'm using something called fetch. Basically, fetch is an API call. Fetch is a function which is used to call the APIs, means from the other website. Okay, fetch means you are for getting the data from database, you can use this fetch call, or to get the data from the other third party websites, you can also use this API. Though people call it as a REST call, REST APIs or REST calls. Instead of calling REST calls, then you can also call it as API calls, no issue. Okay, so then what it is going to return is, once this fetch is successful, means what, you have passed the city and you have given the API, correct API key. So then what is going to be done? Data is going to be fetched for you, and then that data, so what I am doing here, so you can see, then you can write a then chain. Okay, then chain is useful to see the capture the output. Okay, so fetch call is basically used to fetch the data from the third party URL. Once the data is fetched, then I can write a chain. Means, once this is successful, then only this then call is going to be executed. Otherwise, it's not going to be executed. Remember this. Okay, means, so this fetch is going to fetch the data from third party URL. First point. Then the then will not be immediately executed. Remember this. This will be executed only once this fetch cycle is over. What is actually fetch is behind the scenes, I'll tell you. Once I make a fetch call, it is going to return. It has three states. The first state is the fetch call may be successful, or the fetch call may be failed, or in between the fetch and the success and failure, it has a state called pending state. So it is going to has, once I call this fetch, it is going to return a promise. Return a promise means promise has three states. Promise has three states. First state is what? Successful state, or failure state, or pending state. Now I am asking, for this particular city, some temperature information is requested from my side. To whom I am sending this request? I am sending this request to the openweathermap.org website. Okay, I have to wait till I get the response from them. Then I have to display to you. For that, what is to be done? This fetch call is called now. So then immediately it is going to return you a promise. Promise means what? Whether your request is in pending state, or in the successful state, or in the failure state. So when it is going to be when your request is going to be rejected, you tell me. For example, if you have not passed the correct the API key, then you will see that your request is rejected. And so, for example, on the other cases is what, the maybe in between, if there is a big network delay in between your server and the open weather map API, then also it is going to be in the pending state for several minutes. Maybe if it is very fast server, then probably you'll get the temperature values very fast. Okay, that will be there. Then, so till the time, the then is going to be waiting. This is what we call as the synchronous API. Okay, fetch is going to return a promise. Here I have written something, you can see, returns a promise. Returns a promise means promise is an object. So this object has three states, as I told you earlier. And then once you get the response, response can be anything. So that is why I'm just capturing the response to status. Okay, and then what I'm doing, once this response is .json is okay, response.ok is status is 200, means what, you got the response from the open MPI website, and then your call is successful. Okay, then I'm going to prepare how to put it in the graph. Then, so now I'm saying what? Yeah, so here I can say async and await calls are used. Async await calls are also used. Async and await are the two synchronous functions in JavaScript. Three things you have to learn now. First one is what is the purpose of arrow function? That is clear. That is clear to you. Means what? You cannot. The arrow functions are basically a shorthand notation of the JavaScript function. And the second is fetch call. Fetch call is basically used to fetch the data from the third party websites, or calling the third party APIs, or calling the third party REST APIs. Anything you can call. The second thing is async. Third next is async and await. Async and await means if any call is taking some time. Okay, if any call is taking, there is no guarantee that the information will be given to you immediately, right? So in that case, if you want to make the call to wait, you have to use the async and await. Means what? JavaScript generally do not wait for anyone. Like if you have 10 statement, it is going to execute the statement by statement without waiting for anything. Even though you have given something like the sleep call or something, okay, it will not wait for you. Okay. So for example, statement 1 has taking 10 milliseconds. Statement 2 is taking some 20 milliseconds. Okay, then what should be done? So the third statement should not will not wait for the completion of statement 1 and statement 2, though there is a dependency. Immediately it will go to the third and then start it immediately. Okay, that is what we call as asynchronous nature. JavaScript is asynchronous by nature. Means what? So it will not wait for any statement to execute. Immediately it will go to the next statement. So to override this nature, so these people have given something. There are times where I need to wait for something to happen. In that case, what should I do? I have to use something called async and await to mimic the behavior of synchronous. Okay, so this is what the asynchronous calls in your this. Okay, sir, how this the graph can be displayed? So this is only the simple thing. You have an API for that, so you can go to there and see. Chart.js is a CDN which is available in this JS delivery network. Okay, so inside the JavaScript content delivery network, you have a function called chart.js. It will take care of how this can be displayed inside the chat. So in which area the chart can be displayed and all that, it is there. Okay, this is the minimal code, and you can also short this because to make this visible better, I have added some unnecessary this CSS code. Okay, so I'll share this, and you can execute this, and if necessary you can cut it. Okay, removing all this unnecessary stuff and then see. Do you want to see the execution of this once again? Esma? Yeah. Yeah, can you see this? This is. So this is, so Hyderabad, get the weather. Yeah. So it is updated. What is the temperature in Hyderabad now? It is something like 27 point something, 27.33. Okay. So now, so can I see in Chennai? What is the temperature in Chennai now? Maximum, it is 28.5, 28.76. Oh, this is how you get the data from. Then the content delivery networks, you need not write any extra code for that. And then only thing you have to focus more on this, what is the promise and what is the callback, what is the and the async await comes into scene when you are when some task is delayed inside the JavaScript. Okay. So let's go to the next experiment. So, so the next experiment is your JDBC. JDBC. Yeah, you can see this. What is the next experiment? I will show you first. I will read out that experiment. So develop a standalone Java application that performs the CRUD operations by connecting to a database Oracle or MySQL using ADBC. This is pure Java experiment. So CRUD operation means create, read, update, and delete operations. Means create means you create okay some data, and you create some data means what, you insert some data. Read operation means so giving some ID. I want to get the details of this particular guy. That is called read operation. U means update operation means I want to update the marks of this particular guy. D means delete operation. So I'll first execute this and then show you, and later I'll explain the code. First, a small setup is required. It is wait for a while. Wait for a while. 1 2 seconds. I'm doing setup and coming back. Yeah. Coming back. So look at this. I'll share my screen now. Okay, now I'm sharing my the this window. Can you see my screen now? Yeah. Can you see my screen or do you want me to enlarge this? Okay. Yeah, now. Yeah, continue. Yeah, now look at. Yeah, wait. 8.4.0. Yes. Now can you see? I think this is visible to you now. Once again, I'll change the font here. Okay. So now I'm compiling my program. Yeah, now compilation successful. I actually run this program. So 8.4.0 I have to give 8.4.0. I'll also expect up. Yeah. So now can you see here? So connected to the cloud database, and it is asking you to insert, show, update, delete, and exit. So now I'll show you one. Okay, insert. So enter roll number is some right. So 234. Roll number is 234. The name is some Hari. Okay. So and then marks are 99. 3499. Remember that. So record inserted. Okay. So next, what you will see there, show. Okay, to option 2 is 2. Now I have see, you can see that the Raju 100, Meena 85, and Hari is 99, KGR 2 is something like 56. Now, I want to delete this Raju record. Enter choice now. I want to update first 3. Update 3. So, which roll number? Enter the roll number to update. Which roll number I want to update? 1. So then how many marks I have given? 100 marks earlier. Now I want to give 56. Okay. Yes. Record is updated. Now I want to check to show. Yes. Now can you see Raju marks are updated to 56? Yes. This is called JDBCND. And have a look on this code. Okay. I'll explain the code and setup also. So to execute this, what has done is okay, first I'll share it. Share. Yeah. Can you see here? Now, so I want to connect to the database. For this, I have taken Mongo. Sorry, my MySQL connector. So actually, this MySQL connector is the way of connecting to the database. So where is my database? I did not install any database locally, but I have taken the cloud credentials. Like MySQL is free in the cloud. So for instance, instead of actually taking it, I have created accounts and okay, so account is taken there. Now have a look on the code. You will understand this. Yeah. So look at this code first. Look at this code first. So on the right side, you must be seeing the cloud. This. So to connect with the database, what is required is you need couple of things like so what is the URL and what is the database username and what is the password. Username means generally we keep localhost colon something like 33306 and so on something na. So in place of that, what I have given is sql7.freesqldatabase.com 3306. This is actually the cloud database wherein I can log in into this particular freesqldatabase.com website, and there I can register and get the server and the username and password. So straight away you will see in the front panel, you can go to this particular website, have an account there, and they will give you some 9 databases to you for free. Okay, once you have created this I mean the server and then got the credentials, then what I'm supposed to do is I have written a standalone program, because in your syllabus I could see the standalone program. So no, in my standalone program you already know that it starts from the main now. Yes, it starts from the main. Inside your main, I want to read the data from the keyboard, right? For this, I am using a scanner. Okay, you have a scanner class in the util database, and you can see scanner SC is equal to new scanner of system.in. This system.in represents the keyboard. Means I want to read the data from the keyboard. So where is the scanner available? The scanner is available in the util package. Okay, Java util package, and from there you are supposed to take it. So now the next step is I should load the driver. Loading the driver means for connecting with any database, you need the support of drivers. Means what? With the help of this driver class, you will be able to connect to the any database, right? So of course you have different are there. You have something type 1 driver, type 2 driver, type 3 and but nobody is using the type 1 and 2 because they are quite outdated, like in the earlier days of database. Okay, So people have used the drive in 1 and 2. So the purpose of the type 3 driver is something like the using as a network protocol. And the last one is the thin driver. We call it a thin driver, type 4 driver, which is usually people are using to connect with respect to database. So here I am connecting whatever the database that you are connecting to, that particular class name should be provided here in the class.furname. Can you see here? Class.furname. Class.furname is going to load this particular class. Okay, com.mysql.cj.jdbc.driver class used to be connected. I mean, used to be loaded because I am connected to the MySQL. If I am connecting to the Oracle, I might have loaded other class which is provided by the Oracle. If I am connecting to the MongoDB, so they will also provide you the connection URL that that particular class name you have to use here. Once you have loaded the driver, you have to get the connection object. So how do you get the connection object? Driver manager.get connection of URL you have to pass, username you have to pass, and then password also you have to pass. I have already shown you what is URL. URL is the URL that I have taken. This particular website is providing service to me. That's why I have this JDBC colon MySQL colon this stuff. And then user is there now. This is the username that they have given to me. I did not choose any username like this. And then password they also given. They just copied those what was given by them. And then driver manager get connection. If you pass all these parameters like this, you will get a connection object. It means connection is established with them. So now what I am going to do, I want to repeatedly do the task. What is the task? I want to insert the data into database. I want to show what was in the database. I want to update it. I want to delete it. At the end, I want to exit it. So you keep on these options should be keep on displaying, right? That's why we are using a continuous loop like while of true. And then to select which option, okay, by the end user, what I am giving you case labels. Okay, switch off this. You might see some different syntax here now. So now in the latest syntaxes like the Java 8 and Java 9, so you can also use the arrow. People generally used a colon earlier, but a nice syntax is given by Java. Like you can also use the arrow function. The arrow means what? In place of that colon, they have given this. Okay, if any choice is not taken in the given, then you will see the invalid choice. Okay, so then I have written functions for each of the requirement: insert function, read function, update function, delete function, and all I have written. And the logic is you have to, okay, you for passing any statement like I want to insert some data into the database. What should be done? Whatever the data that I have taken now. So first thing, roll number I should take, and then name I should take, and then marks I should take. Once every data is taken, then I have to write a query. So for writing a query, so I should know the SQL, right? You should know the SQL. Insert into student values. I have three fields. So three question marks for test. These are called placeholders. Once these placeholders are set, means there are three things that I want to put in inside the database. That's why three question marks here. These are also called as placeholders. Now, once you have written this, you will see a prepared statement object. So, for executing any statement object, if you are doing update operation, or if you are doing any select operation, or if you are doing any delete operation for so on, so you can either you can use prepared statement or statement objects. I mean, you need the help of either prepared statements or statement objects. Okay, so that's why I'm taking what, sir, how do I get the prepared statement object? It's pretty simple. The connection object con dot prepared statement will give you the prepared statement object, and into that you have to pass the query that you want to execute. So at the end, don't forget to write the statement like ps dot execute update, so that the data will be inserted into the database. This is one function. And then read function, probably you have to use what, con dot create statement will give you the statement object. So for executing any statement or the database, either you have to use a prepared statement or simply statement object. Now can you see here, I have taken all kind of insertions. A better option is prepared statement, because that is very fast. And for all case of read operation, statement object is enough. Once you have got the statement object, then st.execute query, and whatever the query that you want to execute should be sent as a parameter. Once everything is done, what do you want? You want to display them now. So then you will, I mean, so the result, as a result of execution of this particular query, what you will get is you'll get a result set object and iterate over the object and then get the all the data displayed to the console. Okay, sir, how do I establish the connection and all? So have a look on this and execute this. It's pretty simple. I hope you understood this example as well, right? Next, I'll go to the next experiment. So, do you want Babu sir is there? Babu sir, Babu sir is not there, man. Okay, 5 minutes break I'm giving you so that we can see the rest of the experiment. So don't leave this. Okay, don't leave this link. I'll come back in 2 minutes. Okay. Yes, welcome back. So the next experiment is design a sorry, yeah, design a servlet controller. So you want to you whatever you have done now, you have done a CRUD operations inside this now. The same CRUD operations you have to do by using servlet controller. This is experiment 7. Okay, and another experiment is create an XML file for the bookstore and the same by using DTD. So we'll come back to that. First, we'll execute how you can do the CRUD operations by using servlet controller. Okay, so I'll go to this servlet controller. First, I'll execute the experiment and then explain you. Yeah, I'll show you this. I'll share my screen now. Yeah. Yes. Look at this HTML form. So here my requirement is, so how you can do the same thing that you have done by using standalone applications. What was done in the standalone application? So the same fields, roll number, and name and marks were entered. Na? That is what insert operation. Na? The same I want to replicate by using a servlet. So you already know some basics of servlet. Servlet is basically a web component. No, standalone application and servlets are different. So how you can use these standalone applications, how you can use the servlets. These two are different. Means standalone application means you can execute them from your machine only, right? Means you cannot they distribute this application over the internet. Okay, for example, by using core Java, like okay, so you can do the applications or execute the applications only in the local machines, but I cannot serve this particular form to all the people in the internet. So if you want to serve this particular page for all the students in the through or over the internet, then I have to use a servlet. Servlet is a web component, whereas standalone application is not the web application. So standalone application is not the servlet. Okay. So now I'll enter the data here, 405. So and name is Rajani. So marks are 99. Okay, and then click on the submit button. Yeah, now you can see that, record saved to cloud database. Again, where actually the data was stored, I'll show you that particular website. Now you can see, can you see something here? Can you see something like, okay, so student database is there. I think it is visible to you. So Rajini and yeah, 405 is added. Like you can see this record. Okay, this was added. Sir, where this was actually set up, there are two ways of doing it. Like you can see a server, you can see now, and the top you can see something like this. Server colon SQL 7 dot free SQL database.com. This is one server which I have registered and taken a database. And inside that we have created a table called student. Inside student, there are student table. I have three fields: yes roll number, yes name, and then marks. I have added these all fields. What through what? So I have added all these. No, these four records you can see. Hari 234.99. I have added by using standalone application for demo. And now this time, so this particular record is added to the database by using a servlet. So this you kindly remember. Okay. So basically, how you can design or develop the standard, develop the web applications in Java. So you have to write the servlets for that. So servlets are very popular and very beginning for the Java people. Later on, now different tools has come, like later on people use JSP along with the servlets, and then Java server faces, and then struts. All these are came into market, and then they are prominent in those times. Now people again the using different components like by using Spring Boot, Spring microservices, and all that. These are now the robust things of Java. Okay, so the servlets is very bold, but this serves as a basic for any purpose. Okay, now I'll explain the code. Okay, so how you are making a request, ma'am? How you are making a request in case of web application? So you can see this. Yes. So this is how you are making a request. What is that? You are saying localhost colon 8080, and this is your application name, and then so this is the index file which is served to the end user. Okay. In place of localhost, you can also host this in the internet by using Replit and Render other services. People, if you want to use for few days, like 5 6 months, if you want to host an application and use it for your own purpose, like student registrations, conducting events, clubs, managing information, and all that, you can design an application and host the free hosting services. Okay. Okay, so in a moment I'll send you the this particular link. Wait for some time. So wait for some time. I'll send it. Okay, so here where is it? Yeah. So now How to design this application is very important, and you have a different approach for this, not like the other approaches. I'll show you. First, let me go to the first. For this, you need to install a server, local server. I have installed a local server. My database is in the cloud. Two things you need to understand. I am connecting to the free SQL instances which I have registered, but my Tomcat server is running local. Now, for this, uh, so you have to first install the Tomcat server. Why the Tomcat server is required? No, for example, if you have a standalone Java application, directly you can put in a folder and run. But when you actually run the Java-based web application, so you have a different approach. For this, a server is required. If something is to be distributed over the network, like for the people to use that a particular website, so a web server is required. Okay, so popular web servers are there in the market. One simple web server I have installed, that is called a Tomcat server. So Tomcat server is a popular web server. The people use, now you can see the homepage of the Tomcat now. Yeah, so this is actually the Tomcat website web server. Okay, so this is Tomcat web server. So I have installed 9.0.112. So you can also install. If you install this, you can work with the servlets. Otherwise, you can't work with the servlets. Okay. So then, once you have installed this, you can see. Okay. So let me share another window to you. Yeah. So here you can see. Can you see something here? So this is where my server is running. This is where my server is running. Okay. So if you have started the server and it is running, again there is a question. I should locally install it or I can put it online. That is all your choice. You can do anything. Okay. Then before executing this application, then you need a setup environment for this application. So first, so let me go to this environment and show you. First, this is where I have installed my Tomcat. This is all a Tomcat working folder. Can you see inside the C drive I have a Tomcat. Inside my Tomcat, can you see once I installed, I see bin folder conf, lib logs and temp all this. So where can I download? The version is Tomcat 9 point something that you can go and download from the Apache website. So once you have installed, you just unzip it and set the path. Okay, that's enough. So the your administrator will help you to set the path and all. Once you have installed this, you will get a web application, this web apps folder. This web app folder is the folder where you are supposed to keep your application. Can you see the student tab? Yes. This is actually the application. Inside my student tab, I should have a separate folder structure. You cannot put the, you cannot drop the files as you like. Remember this. Then what is to be done? So you have to put them in a different way. Like first you have to create. This is actually my staging directory or the application directory, and inside that you have to create web-inf, and inside that you have to create two other folders like classes and the lib folder. And so next to that you are supposed to put web.xml. Okay, remember student tab. Inside the student tab, web-inf. So remember this web, this is capital letter, and in between you have a hyphen symbol. Okay, inside the web-inf, so classes is one folder, lib is another folder. So this is basically where you are supposed to keep all your class files. Remember this? Can you see the class files? Yes. Student controller dot class file I have kept. And of course, you have a Java file here. Once it is moved to the production, you will not see any .java files. But this is only dev environment, that's why you can see both of them. And so any kind of database involvement is there, and so there you are supposed to download one connector file. That connector name is the MySQL connector J 8.4.20.jar, and different variants are there. This jar file is very important. Sir, I don't want to connect any kind of MySQL something. No SQL is required. No jar file is required. But usual, if you are going, even if you are going for the online cloud database, you should have this here. Okay, and keep all the classes here, and along with your connector file. This connector file is basically contains a driver class. Earlier I told you that there is driver class for putting all this stuff now. So this driver class is you have to put the driver class here. Now if I unzip this, I will see the driver class. Okay, but you don't keep the driver class alone, but you better keep the connector file, jar file. Okay, and then you come back to the lib. Lib also contains the same thing. Like you are supposed to keep two copies of it. One to use at the compilation time, other to use at the web server utilization time. Okay, and you should also create a web.xml file. So this web.xml file contains all mapping elements. For example, you have a class called controller servlet. So instead of, you have to map some dummy name with this actual class name. For that, you need a web.xml. Inside the web.xml, what is your original name, and how I have to show this to the public. Actually, my servlet class name should not be directly visible to the end user, because they may do something like malicious or something. Then what should be done? I should give a nickname for my actual class name. So that is what is to be done inside my web.xml file. Okay, so everything is done like this. I have also provided the readme instructions here. You can go through and execute. This is index. So index.html file or any HTML file, or if you have any images, okay, that you want to display in the website, you should keep them parallel to the web. Remember this. Okay, you should keep them parallel to the web. You should keep them parallel to the web. Then once the structure is okay, then you can go ahead and execute that. Okay. Where is that web application? I have closed it. Oh, yeah. So what is it? Localhost, and it has a port number 8080 slash, and then student app.html. Yes. Okay. So this is actually where you can do the registration. I have already shown you. So let's go to the next experiment. So what is my next experiment? Next experiment is how I can use this session management techniques by using cookies and servlets. Experiment number 8. Got my point? Explore session management techniques by using cookies and sessions. Okay. So now I have another experiment for this. I'll first execute that and then show you. Right. First, I have an URL. This is also a web-based experiment. Then simple URL name is this. Oh, this is not that. Let me again check. Okay. Okay. This name is something different. Okay. So student app CS index.html. Okay. So now I'll first execute this experiment and show you. And then remember this execution procedure that is important while talking about it. Okay, so I'll give some username, Krishna login. So once I log in into the system, okay, I can see two links here. Go to cookies page and go to the session page. Okay, when I say go to the cookies page, then where it is recognizing me, cookie value is equal to Krishna. Again, I'm going back and then session page. There also I'm seeing that this Krishna is there. So what is this all about session management? I will show you. I'll take the class and explain you. So you have a couple of code here. So you have written three different classes for this purpose. Three different classes were written. Okay, present something else. Okay, now can you see here? Yeah, look at here. So now here you can see cookie. Okay, once again let me open the login servlet. So and then session servlet. Yeah. So can you see this? Now you can see. So what is the session? First, session means in this case of web application, session means from the time you open the browser to from the I mean by the time you open the sorry you close the browser. The time in between these two time intervals is called session. Okay. So how do you manage means what? So basically the HTTP, the protocol that we use in the web is HTTP. So this HTTP protocol is, is basically stateless protocol. Stateless protocol means it will not remember who the user is. Means, for example, you have different links. You might see some dashboards inside your some applications, right? When I have a dashboard, if I click on some link, it should remember me. Again, when I click on other link, again it should not ask me the username and password to be entered. You go to the Gmail, so you have a compose button, you have something else like different buttons are there now. Compose button, spam button, next is inbox button, different buttons are there. So while getting into the Gmail box, you have given username and password. Once you get into the inbox, it should not ask you for the username and password wherever you have clicked. So if I click on inbox, it should not ask me the username and password. If I click on the compose, it should not be username. It should not ask me username and password. For each client request, it should not ask me username and password again and again. It should remember me. That is what we have to do by using the code. Sir, why should I do code? Is it not the default nature of the web? Yes, it is not. Because web will not remember you for multiple times. It will not remember you for multiple requests. So then I should make it remembering the multiple requests by using the techniques called servlets and JS. Servlet session management techniques. For that, you have something called sessions and cookies. Okay. So when I'm logging into this, I'm giving username Krishna na. So this name is to be remembered. And then when I click on one link, other links, it should not ask me the again username and password. So in general, the web behavior is stateless behavior. Okay. So for that you are using this session management. For example, for understanding better, I have an illustration. For example, you are conducting a big event in your college. Assume that there are thousands of people or lakhs of people will attend that. Now, for everyone, you issue tickets, and then in the evening at 7, everyone started coming to your ground. Okay, by looking at the ticket, their ticket validity and all, you are sending them in. If they do not have a proper ticket, then you are sending them out. This is how it happens. And after some time, the people who went into the ground for the event again coming back for the water bottle or something else, then what do? Will you again ask him or her for the ticket or not? Because you can't remember him, who they are. If they are okay, they are outsiders or somewhere, you will not remember anyone. So only by, I mean, so upon showing the tickets, you will send them in. Otherwise, it is not allowed. So that is what actually the state management. You are a stateless person there. Means every time the candidate who has bought the ticket will go out, will come in. So for every come in and go out, sorry, for every coming in into the event, for every time that he is coming into the event, you are asking for the token, or you are asking for that particular what? So ticket. Okay, you can't say that I have shown the ticket in the beginning and so on. He can't. Every time he's coming into has to show that. So that is what we call as session management. So to manage the session, I mean, that is what stateless behavior there that is exhibited in the event. But that should not be the case here in the web. If it does so, that these end users or the customers will be frustrated. You should not ask for the username and password again and again. So you should remember them somewhere and see that whether the guy who is clicking on the second link is the guy who has clicked on the first link. Okay, so that is for that you have to remember them. Okay, for remembering them, how do you remember them? You can see here. So see the login servlet. Once the login is over, what is available to you? Username is available to me. Here you can see the code. In this username, in this username, what you can see, I am just creating a cookie. Cookie means cookie is also a technique where no, it is a where data is also be stored temporarily inside your browser. Now I am creating a cookie. Cookie ck is equal new cookie. Username of uname. Okay, so username. It is also be stored in the form of key comma value pairs. Okay, it is stored in the form of key comma value pairs. Okay, this is stored in the form of key comma value pairs, and so wherever you want to take this back, you can take this back by using out. Now what was added? Username was added to the cookies. Now here what was added to the cookies? Username is added. There are two ways of managing the sessions in Java. That is, one is by using cookies, and other is by using sessions. Sir, which way is better? Anyway, some people use this for locally, like cookies, and then some people will use the sessions. Any basic purpose of either using cookies or using sessions is to um, store them, to store some data locally, and then retrieving it back when the request is made by the end user. That is what. Here you can see how do I use the cookies. Cookies ck is equal to cookies, and then session is equal HTTP session is equal request dot get session. Means what? Request dot get session will give you, if any session object is there already, it will give you. If there is no session object, then it is going to return empty. Okay, so that is how I can use this. There are two. Here there is another link. This is another link. Now here what I am doing in the cookie servlet. So in the cookie servlet, when you click on the cookie link, or the first link or second link, two links are provided now. Then what I am going to see, I am getting if any cookies are already there. If any cookies are there, it is going to return the cookies. If no cookie is written, then I will see that this guy is not the guy who has logged into my machine, logged into that particular website. Now here what I am taking, request.get session, okay, will return you cookies if any is there. Out of those available cookies which are returned into array, I am checking what? So is there any cookie that matches with the username or not? If something that matches with the username, then I am going to retrieve it and then saying welcome to him. Okay, the same thing will happen here, but the way that we use is only the API differences, I mean code differences, otherwise the purpose is same. Here how do I take it? So again I'll get the request dot get session of false and I'll get the session object. If session is not null, again I have to examine. What I have to examine, is there any attribute that with the name user is already there inside or not, I'm going to check. Okay, so when you actually click on some link, again when you are inside the application, when you click on it, so background what is happening is it is going to call the cookies or sessions. Means what, it is making called the cookies object. So in case in get cookies, so get cookies is the call inside the cookies, right? Can you see request dot get cookies, and inside the sessions what do you have, request dot, so request dot get session. You will get the session object here and you will get the cookie object there. So if cookie object contains null, what does it mean? So he is not the valid user. If session object contains the null, what does it mean? This guy is not the valid user. Then what should I do? If this is not happen, I mean if the session contains something, then again I am checking what this user is. There any cookie with the user is already there inside that or not? I'm going to check, because this information I'm going to save inside it. No, you are saving only piece of information inside either cookie object or session object in the form of key comma value pairs. This you remember, you will understand everything. Okay. Yeah. So the next experiment is, yeah. So do you want me to roll out that form? No. Okay. Now, what is the next experiment? I'll show you the next experiment. Session management is over. Next is so how do you create a custom server by using Node.js and HTTP module and explore the additional Node.js modules. Okay, this is actually the experiment that we do in Node.js. Okay, so I'll show you that. Yeah. Hello. Babu. Hello. పంపించమంటారు సార్? Can I send it now? Okay. In 5 minutes, I'll conclude and send them. But I have taken up to ninth experiment. Okay. So later you can continue, but I'll take for 10 minutes and then. Yeah. Can you see my VS code? Yes. Yeah, can you see this? My screen now. So this is a Node.js code. So what is it is how you can connect a Node.js server here. So simply connecting, I mean, Node.js is basically a backend server which will take the request from front end and then process it. So basically Node.js has a lot of other things to do. Basically it is going to be, you can create your own server. That is what custom server is. Okay, here you can create your own server with your own port. That is what is Node.js. Can you tell me there are different backend servers in the now in the web scenario? Like you have different servers from different countries, but recently the people are using this Node.js for small scale applications. But if you want to write the big scale applications or robust applications, this might not be enough to work with. So nowadays people are thinking about Ruby on Rails as a backend service. And if you want more and more robust backend services, you can also opt the Spring Boot and microservices. Like by using Spring, you can write a strong applications. But this is the poor choice as a server, as of my opinion. Like, let's get started. How you can create a server by using this? Simply, Node.js modules. You have to import the Node.js modules, required modules. So one important modules to work with the server is HTTP module. So const HTTP is equal to require of HTTP, and then simply you have HTTP dot create server of pass the request and response object, and write whatever you want to send there. Okay, so what you are writing it, so you are creating a server passing request and response objects, and your call, I mean, this is a arrow function. Inside your arrow function, what you are writing, I want to send some information to my client. I mean, when I'm running the server, I want to send some information to my client that I'm writing here. So for writing anything and sending it to the client, where you write, so by using response object, response dot write head and response dot write, and nothing to write, then at the end you'll write what response dot end. And then server dot listen. You have to bind your server for some port. Here we are binding our server with by using a call called listen call. Servers dot listen 5000, and then this is a callback function. Okay, so this is callback. What is a callback function, ma? So actually this is actually a function. Listen is a function. The first argument is 5000. Again, so then what I am passing? I am passing another function. Okay, second argument. Then, so this is called callback function. So the callback function is going to be executed immediately. Okay, so here you can see how you can execute this. Um, so you go to this. Okay, so this Node app. Inside your Node app, how you can run this? Simply, how you can run Node. Okay. One second. Node server.js. Simply that. When I say node server.js, now can you see that server running at HTTP localhost 5000? Yes, this statement will immediately get executed. Now, if I actually log this in the browser, what I'm going to get, I'll show you. Okay, so how do I do this? Now we'll go here. First, let me share other window. Let me share the browser. Let me share the browser. I think now you can see the browser now. So at what port my the server is working? Localhost 5000. Localhost 5000. Okay. So now you can see this is your custom server. Okay. URL request is welcome to my Node.js server, custom Node.js server, and my URL is this. For example, I'm changing the URL. So what do I get? I'll check. Can you see my URL is now changed here? Okay. So just we are just putting. You are right. You are just writing what server dot sorry response dot head response dot write. You are writing now, because of that you are getting this. The other information you want now. So other information like yeah. So if you want to know by using this, yeah. I'll go back to console and show you something. How you can use the other modes. Now come back here. Yeah. So now your server is running now. Yeah, here. So node node osinfo.js osinfo.js. Okay. Node osinfo.js. So there you will see what you will see here. All voice information of this particular system is displaying. Oh, Node.js has many capabilities like this. Okay, so if you ask about the particular file information, it will also display you. It is normal only this path info node path info.js. Yeah, path info means where this particular JS file is available, that it is showing only that. Okay, only that it is showing. Okay, so this is. I think so. It's right time to stop now. Later, the experiments, the rest of the experiments will execute little later. Little later means we'll schedule it. Otherwise, today afternoon we'll take it up. So now I'll share you the um, I'll send the sheet. ಹನ್ನೊಂದು ದಿನ ಸರ್ ಆಡಬಹುದು.